Hey folks, this is Luther. Today we're going to be playing Stellaris. I played a lot of this back when it was brand new, and then again when it was 2.7 or whatever was out, but I just got the newest stuff up to 3.6, and we're going to see what's changed. So, new game. I always like to create a new race whenever we get a new chance to. The Toxoids are new. I already did the Toxic God thing. It was pretty fun, actually. Anyways, I'm not going to worry too much about the story in this run. I want to kind of concentrate on explaining what I'm doing, both to myself and to anyone who's listening, before I start worrying about more than that. I always choose the Necroids, too, because, where is it? In shadow raised, and by king empowered. They're all ridiculous Necron type names, which I adore. Uh, Easy choices for me have always been rapid breeders. Take something like unruly and grab intelligent for the plus 10 to science. So this builds your pop faster, 10% faster. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's multiplicative over the number of worlds you own, so it really adds up. Intelligence plus 10% from all research jobs. It's not quite as good as plus percent to all research, but it's still pretty fantastic. Homeworld. Oh, that was a pretty good one. Them. That's pretty amazing. There we go. We are now them. I like that. Okay, let's start on this world for no good reason. Yeah. Backgrounds, there's just a lot of interesting backgrounds that I haven't touched. And I don't know. I think for this, I'm going to go with one that I'm pretty comfortable with. Remnants is always powerful because of the science bonuses. Machinist is always good because you've got two sources of population being built from the start of the game. Um, I did Machinist recently. I'm going to go with, or Mechanist. I'm going to go with Remnants. Ethics. Um, I'm not very good at the diplomacy side of this one. Uh, I generally wield a big hammer and have big star bases as kind of a deterrence to having to engage with that part of the game. I'm sure as I get better at it again, I'll get back to making deals with all my neighbors and finding out what the heck is going on in space. But for now, I don't mind being at least a bit xenophobic. The Starbase influence cost lets you expand a fair bit faster in the early game. 20%, it's a lot. Pop growth speed plus 10%, so now we're at plus 20%. That's pretty fantastic. Uh, Research speed is the other contender for the best thing to upgrade in the game. Research speed and pop growth are both amazing. Robot upkeep is also very useful. When you're building robotic pops, they eat money instead of food. So minus 20% on all those populations, it adds up. We can either select one pop or one ethos that we are ethic that we are fanatics about, or we can select one, two, or three that we are not so strong about. I think I'm going to go with fanatic materialists. I like robots. They're just a great source of extra pops, and pops are, at least historically, what wins you the game. Uh, Automatic resettlement chance is good, but there's a transit authority upgrade to our star bases that we'll look at later that I think really fills the niche of what this does. Faction unity gain is extremely powerful at the moment. You can build through all of your traditions in the first 100 years, which is interesting. It's certainly different. Uh, but that also might be a mention on the difficulty I'm playing at. I am not back up to big boy playing on normal mode, or rather hard mode. I'm still on default. So give me a few games. Dictatorial, empire size effect, that's pretty helpful, especially with the number of pops we're going to generate. But I'd rather just have the straight up plus 15% to unity gains from factions. Factions will make up the main share of our unity gains. Imperial, max influence from power projection. Now that's not bad, as long as you maintain a decent fleet and you use it every once in a while. You can maintain decent power projection, get more influence, and it makes it easier to expand if war is your goal. We can make war our goal. We can try and be a little more militaristic than I usually am. Why don't we do that? Let's take this back down to materialist to just normal, which will drop these by half. And we'll take militarist. That reduces our claim influence cost by another 10%, which is, well, that'll be when we're claiming enemy systems. And it improves the radar ship's fire at by 10, which is pretty fantastic. It also opens up some stuff over here. We're going to go ahead and be Imperial. This leaves us at the mercy of designated successor, which I don't remember there being a mechanic to select one. I'll look and see when we're in the game. Alright, civics. Civics is a hard one to process the first time you come through it. If you really just want to cut your way through the nonsense of civics really fast, most people will tell you that functional architects is just +1 building slot and cheaper planetary stuff. It's just simple and good. Another streamer, ASpec, recommends materialists, or masterful crafters rather, if you've got any degree of materialist. I kind of like, some of the sillier ones, reanimators and such. They're not necessarily good, but they are pretty funny. Technocracy is my personal favorite. Anytime I'm taking materialist, I'm taking technocracy. The replacement of a little bit of unity for a fair bit more science per planet is just worth it to me. Warrior culture. I'm going to go ahead and try warrior culture. I've never tried this one before, and I want to see what the building actually looks like in the end. Let's go ahead and grab that. Next.
What is a single voice compared to a magnificent chorus?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. But yeah, can. Oh my God.
Faithful. There is no greater calling.
Oh, hey, look, we found somebody who knows how to keep a sentence down to, a few words or so. My God, Hive Mind's really chatty for someone who can only talk to themselves. Like literally, think about this. Where in the hell did they learn the conversational skills to carry on such long-winded discussions? Any which way. Not our problem. Let's look at another voice, the technocrat.
The laws of science govern all.
Yep, that's our guy. Alright. Yep, no. Star Nation, Hierarchy, United Nation, Technocracy, personal favorite. Our flag, I always try to do something tasteful that doesn't really look like anything else. Can't really be mistaken for something it's not, because a lot of the flags you can build up and they'll look like something ridiculous. I don't like that. Every time I look at my flag being looking like that, it'd disturb me. I don't think I want Necroid ships today. They look very Necron slash Battlestar Galactica Cylons, sharp edges, and yeah. We'll see if we ever actually see them again. Alright, Relic World. Unruly, yep. Save. Done. Alright, reset the default, and play. Alright, let's hope we get a decent start. It's probably not going to be one, but I believe Relic World gives us our 2 guaranteed habitables as ice. So that's a problem. All right, research is the first thing I want to look at here. I believe in economics and compiled interest and all of that. So stuff that says more research from research that, yeah, yeah. And these are generally what you end up doing when you see them. Exceptions to that can be powered exoskeletons. You can make a case for that one because of the worker pop outsource, I think, but I still always take nanomachines. The best one is actually in society. We'll show it later when we get it, but it's the little bit better than the one we're grabbing. Okay. So we're going to take a look at our planet. It is a relic world, so when we remove features, we should get stuff, I believe. Yes, we have a chance of discovering minor artifacts. That's not terribly exciting. That'll cost 750 energy and 250 minerals a pop. Huh. Homeworld class plus 30, relic world plus relic worlds. Do we have any bonuses for relic worlds? I can't remember how to see. It doesn't look like it. Well, don't you feel ripped off? Alright. Well, let's see what we can do here. We're pretty much broke at the beginning, and we're going to need to start building outward before we start building on the planet. We've got a job left, and it's going to take, whoops, it's going to take another 2 years before we have another population to fill even that job. So 4 years before we have to have another building or district up. So, all right, let's move along. Here we see our planet next door. 25 size desert world. That's fantastic. We're going to get our science ship surveying there. We're going to tell this guy to build a mining station, specifically this one, so we can build more mining stations faster. And we're going to unpause. Alright, I typically let this run at about fast, but maybe I should pop that up. So, is the heir to our empire. Wonderful. So, yeah, you get stuck with whoever you get stuck with. Our current guy is charismatic, so our edicts cost less. We'll show you that later. And an investor, so our trade value goes up. Interesting. Trade value comes from certain pops and comes from certain buildings, and it gets transferred by default straight up into energy credits, but there's some other things you can do with it based on which ethics you take, the traditions. Yeah. All right.
Construction online.
We're going to set him to build the next two. If you hold shift, you can issue multiple commands in a row real quick. And then we're going to send him there. We're also going to build a colony ship right now. We want to try and get it out there around the same time that he gets his starbase done. It might be the right timing. I probably should have started earlier. Alright. We need 200 of this. And we need 200 of this. Yep. Colony ships take a year to actually create, so plan ahead. Have one ready. Don't just wait for the button to come up and then click on the colonize thing and then blah, blah, blah. So there are a lot of really, really cool events and storylines in Stellaris. I love them to death. And I cannot recommend highly enough that you play through the stories at least a few times. Roleplay a race or just enjoy whatever happens from the galaxy around you. It's really cool sci-fi stuff. that's not going to happen today. Today I'm going to be looking down here for whatever effect it has and then clicking OK. In this particular case, that's our precursor uh, quest chain, our situation. We'll be looking for stuff that they have left behind. There it is. And we'll try and find these archaeology sites and then dig through them and find more archaeology sites. This one tends to spread out a lot in my experience. It's kind of annoying, and if we don't move fast, well, we'll have to conquer our way through a fair bit of it. Oh, this is interesting. We've already got a dead end here. So we've got a choke point to our homeworld here. I'd like to see what this goes to. In a second, we'll be able to see that 5 months once we get research or oh my, traditions. Yes, traditions going. All right. Okay, we've got a shipbuilding. So your first tradition, well, what do you want? You're guaranteed to have 2 planets nearby, and you're probably going to have more than that. So expansion is always a great thing to take here, always. You start off with the 25% colony development speed, which colony development takes either a year or 2 years by default, I can't recall. But 25% is significant. It'll save you time, which means more pop growth, which means more stuff. All right. And then through the first tier, Starbase influence cost, again, this would stack on top of our militarist bonus. So we'd actually pay 20% less influence. I believe the default is 100, so we'd be paying 80 instead, if I'm remembering that correctly. So this is great. Empire size from systems. Empire size is up here. And as it says, when empire size is at or below 100, there's nothing else being modified. When it goes above, your research and your traditions all become more expensive. Yeah, something to keep an eye on, but this helps with that. Galactic ambition, starbase upkeep. All of your ships in space, all of your star bases, all of your stuff that you build on the ground, all has an upkeep. And this reduces it on the star bases. It allows you to expand more and pay less. Colonization fever is fantastic if you can get it before your first colony grows up. 1 free pop is 2 years off, basically. That's really, really good. And pop growth speed, this applies not just to your new colonies, this applies to your entire empire. And pop growth speed plus 10%, again, it's a front runner for one of the best modifiers in the game. And at the end of the expansion, when you get the finisher, the max number of districts on every planet goes up by 1. That's extremely helpful in the early game, especially if you find like a special planet that has a modifier on it. I really like taking expansion. It's great. But discovery is also great. First of all, it unlocks an edict called Map the Stars that'll allow us to see further and survey quicker, which allows us to see what's around us and figure out strategically where we're situated. Anomaly research speed. I generally skip anomalies at this stage of the game until I've got at least 3 or 4 science ships up, but once I do, it's not bad. It's not something I'm going to complain about. I generally grab to boldly go immediately. Survey speed plus 35%. Again, I just want to explore through stuff, find everything, and claim it, at least with an expansionist empire, which is what we're going to be. Science ship disengage chance. There's always an early game threat. Sometimes it's drones, sometimes it's Leviathan, sometimes it's pirates. Whichever one it ends up being, your science ships have a chance to get away, and this makes it a lot better. Databank leaks. The edict is kind of expensive in harmony or unity, which goes to your traditions, and I don't really like to pull from that pool until we've got a unity buffer. Um, but research station output 20%, research from star-based constructions 20%. Research plus 20% from anything is pretty dang good. So yeah. Research alternatives, that means when we finish researching, we'll have one more research that we can choose from. And scientist level cap means our scientists can level up to level 7 instead of level 5. Leader experience gain plus 25% applies to all leaders. Leader level cap plus 1 applies to all leaders as well, so now scientists can be level 8. And researcher upkeep minus 20%. Researchers take consumer goods and turn them into science. This is not a super cheap process, and you're generally going to end up with a fair number of researchers in your empire, or space democracy, or whatever you call your evil empire. Um, so cutting it down by 20% is absolutely worthwhile. And then as a finisher, and this is just beautiful, research speed plus 10%. Wow. There's just, again, front runner for best modifier in the game. In this particular case, we took both pop growth and intelligence, so we're already min-maxing. Let's min-max some more. I think research is a little bit better than expansion in the early game. And we're kind of in the middle of space, but cut off. This is an interesting stub of a cluster. I think we're going to end up around the inner right here and right here, hopefully. I'm hoping it doesn't loop back around. That'll be a mess. All right. You know what? Let's try it. Let's go with expansion. Let's give it a run. Colony development speed will help. We already know we got one big colony here, a size 25 planet. That means it can have 25 districts on it. For reference, our homeworld is size 22. So that's pretty impressive. Okay. Let's get back to looking.
Construction online.
All right. Colony ship is done. Let's get the colony ship over here. 60% is good enough for me. It's certainly not perfect by any stretch, but it's close enough. Habitability is based on your homeworld's type. That's what your species likes. On your homeworld, your habitability is 100% here. But if you find another world that is of the same type as your homeworld, ours is technically, I believe in it, we have arid habitability. Because of the way that I built them. That is confusing, isn't it? Let me check. Stop being silly. Right, there we go. Savannah preference. Right, I chose a savanna on the screen, and despite living on a homeworld, we still have a preference for savannas because they don't want to give us a penalty. Makes sense. So as you can see, on other savannas, we have an 80% habitability, and other dry planets 60, and then everything else 20. Everything else except for tomb worlds, which are dead worlds that civilizations really fucked up. Yeah, at some point they dropped the bomb. Yeah, so those will be 0% to start. But we can fix them later with space magic. They call it technology. It's amazing.
Scan complete.
Alright, this system is scanned. We're going to go ahead and build our starbase here. Our influence cost is 60. I must be misremembering the base cost, but that's fantastic. I'm going to grab that. Also, before I forget, we should have... Oh, we didn't go with research, discovery. That's correct. Alright, again, min-maxing for time. We're going to put this in orbit. We can't actually colonize it until the starbase is built. And the starbase is only 72% Who's going to get there first?
Construction online.
Ooh. And the guy just barely wins. Yep. Yep. What's on this planet anyways? Alien Zoo, and it produces 8 society research. That's actually quite a lot at this stage. We only have 38, so that's significant. All right, unpause.
Establishing colony.
All right, so that's going to take till 2204, April 1st. That's going to take 2 years. And that's with the 25% off. Scary. All right, we want to grab this. I'm pretty sure that we'll end up with another tradition before they generate, but there's no reason to risk it. It's just a free population when that's done colonizing. There's a Savannah world. This one will be an 80% for us. We want to put this ship down here surveying that. We want to put this ship. We want to build this mining station and then move this guy out here. Okay. Science ship comes up. Science ship comes up. We're not really making a lot of alloys. Let's check our policies. Diplomatic stance, expansionist is pretty good. It lowers the cost to build outposts. It makes our colonies develop faster. And it adds border friction, which if you're looking to go to war, helps. Once you run into people, you could probably choose either isolation, cooperative, or belligerent, depending on where you plan on going with it. But once you're boxed in, remember to give this a switch. War philosophy, we're going to be on unrestricted wars. This is more of a roleplay thing in my opinion. But it might be, oh, that's right, some of your ethics will only allow certain ones of these. And certain factions will call for you to have certain values for these. Like we default to oppressive value vassalage because we're xenophobic. Indiscriminate, that's nice. We can resettle pops, aggressive first contact. Yeah, that just means that we'll make it first contact faster and we'll have the option to interact with the natives. Yeah, yeah. Initial border status closed. That means whenever we make a new discovery, whenever we talk to an alien, our border will start out closed by default. Economic policy. This is a personal opinion. Economic policy by default doesn't do anything in a mixed economy. In a civilian economy, you produce more consumer goods, which are used as resources for both upkeep in your pops, all of them, except for robots, and you use them in certain jobs, like researchers consume consumer goods in order to make science. That's how that works, I think, in real life. Yeah. So this is great for absolutely no reason I can think of. I have no idea why you would ever want to use this. In fact, the only thing I can really recommend with an honest heart is militarized economy. You lose your consumer goods production, which is okay, that's rough. But you gain alloys production. Alloys produces spaceships and space mining rigs and spaces and space. Yeah, they make space in space. We need alloys more than we're ever going to need consumer goods. Also, consumer goods are cheap on the market compared to alloys. We're going to be right now, what we're doing is we're going to be tuning our economy specifically towards getting allies. So we're going to bite the bullet right now. We're going to change this over. Militarized economy. We're militarists, so our people likely never complain about that. But the important thing is here that at the end of the month, we can go ahead and see how much these numbers change. So plus 7, plus 14, plus 4, plus 16. It's not much. It's a percentage, but As we grow our industrial districts, as we get more of this stuff, and they do generally come together, then we'll get more and more alloys as opposed to more and more consumer goods, which in my experience mostly end up being sold. Trade policy, like I said, if we take our the tradition for, well, you can't see the spare traditions when you're not there. Okay, if we take the tradition for trading, then we'll get other things here, trading to convert into harmony and research and stuff, but I don't know that we'll be down that road. Robotic workers are allowed by default, and we can't outlaw them because we're materialists. We're allowed population controls. If you want, once you can start gene editing species, you can, if you want to, say that only certain species can breed on your planets, and that's what this is. It's really, really good if you're really, really min-maxing and you're, playing at the top of the game. Lower end of the game, it's ignorable. Slavery, uh, you know, I don't know if that works out in this game or not. And purging is murdering people. Yeah. So purge pops is when you decide that they just need to go, and you're allowed to set the rights of a citizen to, or a person rather, to whatever you like, from full citizen, resident, slave, or they need to go. So yes, you can go full Nazi Germany in this game, which is a little disturbing. Yeah. But hey, it's a video game. It'll be okay. And when you're playing something like the Xenomorphs or the Zerg or an AI like Skynet, you're going to feel a lot less bad about, the terrors of space, I'm sure. Right. So, policies. That's the end of policies. Up here, we have the market. The market allows us to trade one resource for another. Depending on how much we buy and sell, these numbers will move and then they will adjust over time. For instance, we're going to sell some food. We don't really have much use for a food stockpile, so we're going to turn it into something we do need. So if we sell 100 food at 0.7 energy credits per one, a market fee of 30% on all transactions, suddenly now they're only selling for 0.69. Woohoo. All right, we got it down to 0.68, but we got another, 400 energy credits. Wonderful. We're probably not going to do the same with minerals because we use those to build star bases. And not star bases themselves, but the mining rigs outside the mining bases. So, oh wow, 2 archaeological sites. Huh. Okay. Yeah, so we'll want to keep some minerals around for now, but we do need to start buying alloys. I set up monthly buys because it doesn't destabilize this price as fast. This price goes down every month, and then this dries it up every month, and it's better than just lump sums to plan in advance. We've got a surplus of 91 energy right now, and we've got 1 to 2, so we should probably go 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 is our default expectation. So let's pull in. Yep. No. Let's pull in 25 of these for now. And we will add that. Also, we will add a monthly trade to sell 10 of our food. It's not much, but every little bit. All right. Unpause. So we're a little bit in debt, and that will continue to go up over time. But in the meantime, we're making a lot more alloys, which is going to be important for the colony ship I need to be building. There we go. What are you worried about? Oh, that skyrocketed fast. All right. Wait. Why would that tell me that it was too high or too low? It's 2.96. Prepared for 1 to... whatever. Fine. Let's cut it down and see if it stops complaining. All right. Plus 15 puts us back in the black. So, there. I don't know why I worry about that, but anytime I see the little buzzer or hear the little buzzer and the red thing comes up, you know I have to fix it. Fix the problem. Story of my life. Yeah, up here it is. So this is the one I always want to get first. Genome mapping, pop growth speed plus 10%. Again, it flows out. You generate more people faster, and you can do more stuff across your empire. Possibly the best tech in the game.
New technology discovered.
All right. Pop growth speed plus 10%. What do you know? It's a pop growth speed extravaganza. I wonder what we're doing about that. Are we just selling aphrodisiacs on the street corners? I mean, I heard that the Dutch, is it the Dutch? Yeah, I think it was the Netherlands. We're doing a campaign to have people have more children. Like the birth rate has gotten so low there that they're worried about not enough people are making babies. I mean, I guess that's what population density does to you when you live in a tiny, tiny little space like that with a lot of people. But oh my gosh. I just can't imagine our government saying something like that. The Baptists. Oh my God, can you imagine what the Baptists would say? Yeah. Yeah. Or the Catholics. Ooh. When Catholics are going broke after numerous unfortunate events for them. All right. So the red box means that we have unemployed people. It means it's been 4 years. Yep. So let's figure out what we want to do. We know we want more alloys more than anything in the world. And right now, supporting more alloys just requires building more industrial districts. That'll give us one artisan job, which creates consumer goods, and one metallurgist, which creates alloys. They both eat minerals. Eating 12 minerals a month to give us 6 more alloys and 9 more consumer goods, it's a great deal. So, we've already got one waiting. We'll have a second one soon. So let's get 2 of these up. Excuse me. In the future, we'll look at clearing out some of this nonsense and getting whatever the rewards are. Oh yeah, the ruins likely contain some of our lost knowledge. That's right. You get stuff out of these. Well, you know what? That being the case, let's prioritize them. It'll be fun. And you got an industrial district, an industrial district. We'll set one of these up for clearing. See what comes out the other side.
System surveyed.
All right. Barbogan, yeah, is done. Produces 8 society all on its own. Has, oh my, numbers of generator districts available to it. And society research from JAWS plus 25%. And it's a big planet. This is a really good planet. That's fantastic. I want to do 2 things with this planet. I want to fill these slots in, and I want to make researchers out of them. I want to make researchers out of them because I can take advantage of the 25% from society. It's not the greatest bonus in the world, but it's a whole heck of a lot better than nothing. I don't remember what the alien zoo does, but we will find out as we go. The other thing we want to do with this place is build generator districts. All the generator districts in the world. I believe that we have 1, 2, possibly 3 different building slots coming from techs or civics in the future. So we're going to need at least 7 districts dedicated to cities, and then we'll have 13 we'll have 18 generator districts, and we can build a total of 14. So, okay, that'll be just fine then. I'm actually going to start off by building generator districts here instead of cities. We don't have either of the buildings I would want to build right now, which we'll talk about when I get them. But this creates housing, which we need to keep our people incoming, and it creates technician jobs, which are money. Energy credits are money. Money can be used for goods and services. Um, I'm surprised you didn't know that, actually, but I'm here for you. So, moving along, let's build a generator district. Okay. All right. This is explored. We are going to send him to build the starbase. Our colony ship got built somewhere in there. That's fine. Send him here. This one's going to be a little bit behind schedule, but that's okay. I'm going to send you here and see what you see. We're going to get you two moving. All right. When I'm recruiting leaders for science vessels, I generally try to think long term, although I didn't take any longevity on these guys. So they're probably going to die in those ships, which means I want to aim for something that affects being in those ships. Anomaly discovery chance is great. Just try to remember not to send this guy into an excavation. It's not a big deal, but yeah. Anomaly research speed 35% is pretty great too, and I am grabbing that. And maybe we have some anomalies already. Well, we don't. That's okay. We're going to set this guy to excavate that site and just get started on the precursor stuff. Sometimes the rewards are worth it. We're going to find out this time. We need 200 unity. We need a few more months. Research speed plus 5%. I think you know what I would say about that. Okay.
Anomaly detected.
There's our anomaly. We're going to tell them to leave it be for now. That anomaly is level 6. That scientist is level 2. So it would take him 2 years to get through that. We're not going to let that happen. What we are going to do is tell this guy to stop excavating and to go survey this system. We're going to tell this guy to come back over here and excavate the site. Is this the most efficient thing I could do? No. But it will be in the long term. Anomaly discovery chance plus 10% is the best thing, in my opinion, to roll. Your anomalies turn into resources on planets. They turn into special projects, which turn into science. They turn into archaeological sites, which we'll see the rewards of those later. There's just a lot that comes out of the anomalies. So we're definitely keeping that. We're going to send him to explore here. And because I'm feeling smarter than I was a second ago, we're actually going to send him to explore out here and just take a look and see if we can't find our second habitable planet. I can't remember what the relic world origin rules are. Let's see. It doesn't show them in here. That's okay. Okay, well, whatever. Titanic life, blah, blah. Max agriculture districts on the city that we've already designated. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. So, this is interesting. This is a giant planet. 25 is really big. Um, Max agriculture districts plus 6 would take us to a total of 12. That's not bad. Food from jobs. That could turn this into the breadbasket of the entire empire. Titan Hunter job. That's interesting. Hmm. I think I'm gonna go with Titan Hunter job and Max Districts. We're going to really stretch what we can do with just one planet here and see if we can't get enough to feed the Empire while still making some income. And maybe we'll get some research out as well. Or maybe it'll be these two. For the moment, this is what we're doing. I don't remember what the Titanic Life study reward is, and I don't want to take the science time off to find out.
Situation log updated.
Wow. Okay. I'm sure that will have no repercussions whatsoever.